Stop what you're doing and listen up. We're here to tell you about Milan Cortina's coolest Paralympian.
And we have some fire stories about badass women around the world to close out Women's History Month.
Coming to you on the Feel Good Fastlane, your quick ride to a world that doesn't suck. We're your hosts, Elliot Chaparelli
and Joy Shanti Watkis.
Do you know the name Oksana Masters? Well, you should. She's now the most decorated U.S. Paralympian of all time. She has 24 total medals, and 13 of those are gold. Masters competes in both the Summer and Winter Paralympic Games. Milan Cortina marked her 8th Paralympic appearance. Masters' first Paralympics was back in 2012, where she took a bronze in rowing. Then she wasted no time and headed to her first Winter Games in 2014. That's where she won a silver in the cross-country skiing sitting category, a sport where she has dominated ever since. Cross-country skiing is also where Masters met her soon-to-be husband, Aaron Pike. Pike is also a Paralympian, and the couple plan to get married in Italy now that the Games have wrapped up. If you want to learn more about Oksana Masters, and I know I do, you can check out her autobiography, The Hard Parts, a memoir of courage and triumph. And Masters certainly has triumphed. She shares her own story of being born in Ukraine near Chernobyl and then growing up in orphanages until she was 7. Then her mother, Gay Masters, worked hard to adopt her and bring her to Louisville, Kentucky. There, she received much-needed medical care, including the amputation of both her legs and a replacement with prostheses. Masters has truly overcome and triumphed with her dominant Paralympic performances. Let me leave you with my favorite fun fact from Masters Team USA profile. She actually broke her first Paralympic medal and now stores her medals carefully wrapped in socks. Good thing she has a few medals to spare. Over to Joy Shanti with a multitude of stories that will inspire you.
Listen up, ladies and allies. We're celebrating Women's History Month rapid fire style with stories from around the world. On International Women's History Day, Barbie announced their first ever one-of-a-kind Dream Team dolls. This honors women who are among the first in their fields: Serena Williams, Chloe Kelly, Helene Fisher, Stephanie Gilmore, and many more. Since 1959, Barbie has spotlighted more than 100 women across industries and communities who have driven meaningful change. Also on this year's International Women's Day, in Moose Jaw, Canada, the Royal Canadian Air Force celebrated with a flyby performance with an all-female crew. This was part of a larger event where they celebrated the advancement of women pilots and the importance of action and allyship. Lieutenant Colonel Kim Wilton told attendees, quote, "There's all these glass ceilings being broken through. I really don't see any limitations right now. There's certainly challenges, but there's more opportunity than challenges, I would say. So, sky's the limit, right?" End quote. I couldn't agree more. Let's fly over to Doha, Qatar for a quick peek at their first women's-only mosque and education center, Al Mujadila. The design team behind the building intentionally conducted surveys amongst Muslim women to understand what they needed. Al Mujadila has 2 olive trees planted indoors to symbolize a connection to knowledge and nature. There are over 5,000 small openings to diffuse natural light inside and a giant red prayer mat to promote community. There's something powerful about being in spaces curated just for you. In most mosques, women are required to enter through a separate entrance or a side door, but at this one, they can walk in right through the front. These women aren't just opening doors, they're literally creating the frames for future generations to walk through. One more story for you. Actress Lupita Nyong'o is currently partnering with the Foundation of Women's Health for a fundraising campaign called Make Fibroids Count. This will fund research that will support the development of non-invasive treatments for uterine fibroids. Lupita has personally donated $22,000 and has used her public platform to bring awareness to this campaign. She said, quote, "There's something deeply wrong when a serious, mysterious health problem is so common that it's treated as casual, as inevitable. We must reject the normalization of female pain. It's very empowering to play a role in solving your own problem." End quote. Lupita has had uterine fibroids twice in her life, currently living with 50 of them, some the size of an orange. However, her activism and advocacy is amazing news for the future of uterine fibroid treatments. I can go on and on about the amazing things women are currently up to, but I'll throw it back to Elliot for a feel-good story about survival and a pop of color.
Have you ever heard of the butterfly effect? It's when a small action ripples out and makes a big difference to a lot of people. In this case, that small action is knitting. Mary Mwangi of Kenya took up knitting after she recovered from breast cancer. She now makes knitted prostheses for other breast cancer survivors. In Kenya, 40% of the population live below the poverty line. So the reconstructive surgery that's standard for breast cancer survivors in higher income countries isn't always available. But Mwangi's prostheses and her knitting group are restoring dignity one knitting project at a time. They call themselves the New Dawn Cancer Warriors. They say knitting prostheses, as well as the more usual hats and scarves, helps them get into a more positive mindset. So does the visual appearance of using a prosthesis. They say they feel like themselves again. The knitted breast costs just over 1,200 Kenyan shillings. That's about $10 a piece. But Mwangi's group sells their work to organizations that actually donate the prostheses to women who can't afford them. The knitted breasts are stuffed with the same fibers used in pillows. Women say they're gentle, look good, and are easy to use. So far, Mwangi's group has made 600 of them. Kenya's health ministry is, of course, working on early detection and advancing cancer treatment options. But for now, Mwangi's group is training more and more women to knit and showing that small actions can make a big difference. Back to Joy Ashanti to close us out with our most fun story of the day. And let me tell you, I know she's been looking forward to sharing this one.
If you're in Oksana, Wisconsin, you may have seen a school bus covered in painted paw prints and dogs peeking out the windows. Well, this is a new way to doggy daycare. Hope Melberg is the owner of Canine Convoy, Wisconsin's first ever dog bus. Monday to Friday, approximately 25 dogs are picked up for a field trip to a private park. The park has tire swings, tunnels, soccer balls, and 3 acres of land for the dogs to roam free. Originally, Canine Convoy was a part-time dog walking business, but in May 2023, Hope quit her day job and made Canine Convoy her priority. In a People magazine interview, she said, quote, "Each day is different, each day is an adventure, and each day is super fun. I love going to work, I love waking up and going to pick up all the dogs," end quote. Low-key, I want this job. But anyways, Hope has about 65 dogs now on her current client roster. Enjoy this adorable video of the dogs boarding the bus. I think every town should have a dog bus and a large private park just for them. What do you think? Comment below some cute and fun dog stories of your own. We'd love to read them. There's your bite-sized brightness for the day. Short stories that will leave you feeling good and knowing good fast. Help us stay in the Feel Good Fastlane. Like, comment, follow, and share.